Hey guys, I'm Nathina.
I'm Rashida.
And together we are
N.E.R.V.
Hey guys, how are y'all doing today? It's a beautiful day outside.
Yes, it is.
This was a really nice day.
It is.
On my drive over, I was just sightseeing, driving slow in the in the lane. You know where people beep the horn at you and they got someplace to go.
That's right.
I'm sightseeing, just driving because I want to take it all in. But I'm glad today has beautiful weather, which is a good day to talk about what we want to talk to you all about today, which are goals.
Yes.
And what's a better day to think about your goals than a nice, beautiful, sunny day?
Yes.
Outside.
Right. And it's the beginning of the work week, right? Or beginning of a week. Today is Sunday, March the 18th? 19th? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
19th.
And we are going to be talking about goals.
Goals. Yeah. That's what we're going to be talking about. Simple, huh? Right. So it's not always so simple to talk about your goals. Because sometimes you have to sit down and think about what do you want to achieve. That's how you set up goals. So it has to be something that you want to achieve, something that you want to accomplish in order for you to sit down and say, hey, I want to do this. This is a goal of mine and this is how I'm going to accomplish it. So sometimes that can be very difficult when you want to do those things. So what we want to do is just talk about how to get started, how to prevent things from stopping you from achieving your goals, because it happens to me, and it happens to Rashida. And we're going to talk about the things that have hindered us along our journey as well. What's some of the goals that you may have recently had or had in the past that you saw that you ran into some roadblocks? But before we get into that, how did you come up with the goal?
That's a good one. Coming up with goals, I think what you need to figure out is what type of goals you're going to have, right? Whether it's going to be goals for personal goals, whether it's going to be business goals, right? Or whether it's going to be a little bit of both, right? I think that's one of the key things you think about first. And then you figure out, one thing I like to talk about is long-term and short-term goals, right? You definitely want to figure out, your long-term, which is something that you definitely want to get to. And then your short-term, which is something you kind of want to happen just a little bit faster.
Okay.
So, I definitely think, that's one of the things, you need to think about when you're deciding, what type of goals to set. What about you? Any?
Well, yeah. So I had a goal that I did accomplish. So, for example, when I got my real estate license, that test kicked my butt.
That was a good goal.
And I am not a great studier. I'm trying to study. My mind is like doing 100 things. So I try to cram things in at the last minute because that's how I can remember. But it doesn't always work well for me. So I did have to take that test a few times. I'm not going to say the number, but I did get my real estate license. But that was a great accomplishment for me. I had to at first, I was just wanting to get it real fast. So I wasn't really putting the effort in. And I had to be truthful with myself. My goal was getting a real estate license. And I would sit down and say, hey, I'm going to carve out an hour a day to study. But I wasn't doing that. I was cramming in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes here and there. But I had to reevaluate so that I could reach that accomplishment. And eventually I did that because I have my license.
Very good.
And now a new goal for me is that I've been trying to finish since last year is get my insurance license. I always keep talking
definitely.
about.
Yes.
And now I had to reevaluate that, and I have to make sure I carve out time because life starts to happen sometimes. And then you get away from your goals.
Yes.
So I started saying, hey, I'm definitely setting myself aside an hour a day, at least 3 times a week to just study.
Good for you.
For my insurance.
Good for you.
What goal are you working on right now?
Right now, for me, I think one of my biggest goal is doing more content, right? I have a work from home business. One of the things, I do a lot of recruiting. And one of the things that you definitely have to do with marketing and advertising is you have to make sure that you stay fresh, that you stay in the know. You got to do your little TikToks and your reels and things like that. So for me, it's just more of making sure that I'm more consistent with that, right? I want to be more consistent with it. I don't want to just say, oh, I'm going to do this. I want to wake up with a goal, a plan in mind for the day. I like to call those short-term girls.
Short-term goals.
I got a little bit of flubber today. Short-term goals is what I like to call that, right? And what that is those are the goals I set for the day only. So today I wake up with the plan of doing content. How much content can I do in a day? How much videos can I possibly get out there that deal with working from home?
Good. So that's a short-term goal for you.
That would be considered short-term. Right.
Yes. And a short-term goal for me would be accomplishing my reevaluating my study habits and making sure that I get to the long-term goal, which
Right.
is to get my insurance license and
Mhm.
start practicing selling insurance.
Gotcha.
And also another long-term goal of ours, NERV.
Oh, definitely.
That is
Definitely
the major goal for
Right.
us. We want this to go as far as it can go, and we want to continue to grow our business and continue to reach you all and influence you all and just, be there to encourage you all. That's always our long-term goal.
Definitely.
I noticed that in achieving some of the goals that I have in the past and the current ones that I'm working on, I have a lot of issues with procrastination. I recognize that within myself. I know that I do it, and still I procrastinate.
Yeah.
And now sometimes I had to look it up one time. I looked up procrastination. I was like, what causes procrastination? Because I don't know what I need to do. I know how to do it. I know I should be doing it, but I'm still procrastinating. I'm still not getting the goal achieved, not even the short-term goal. So I looked it up, and sometimes procrastination be caused by stress. It can be caused by some mental health. Like if you're lacking self-care, if you got a lot of responsibility, and we all have that.
Yes.
We're going to always have that going on. If you got children, you got family that you look after, you got a job, you got to work, we have to support ourselves. It's a lot going on in our lives, but we have to take care of ourselves, our mental health, and make sure that we keep our stress levels low so that we can focus on our goals, because us achieving our goals helps everybody.
It does. Yeah, I agree. I definitely, procrastination is definitely a big one for me too. Like you say, when you have a full life, you have, kids, you have, relationships, you have all type of things. It's just so many things that can definitely, like you say, get in the way. Procrastination is one of them. Another things I feel that sometimes get in the way of your goals is the fear of the unknown, right? You got these goals, you got these plans, but am I going to be able to achieve them, right? Or if I don't, that's why I like to tell people, when you do set goals for yourself, that's why it is good to do short and long term, because you don't want to set yourself up for goals that, like you say, can I achieve this goal? You got to give yourself a reasonable enough time to achieve certain goals.
That's right.
So I do think that is another hindrance of people with goal, setting, am I going to complete the goal? If I don't complete the goal, does it make me like a not good person, or a person that can't achieve things? No, it just means that now we got to reevaluate, right? Maybe that goal should be moved to a long term as opposed to a short term, because we still want to achieve it. It just may take us a little longer than what we planned.
Correct. And don't ever take that you're not accelerating on the same level as someone else, because someone may be at the top of the totem pole as far as their goals go, and you may still be at the bottom or in the middle, but that's okay, because your path is not their path is not your path. And they could have 10,000 sold, you could have 500 sold. That's okay. 500 short-term goal, we got 500. Next, let's get 1,000. Let's just keep going. So you don't want to focus on what other people are doing. You want to focus on your goals, your pace, what time you have allotted to your goals. So what we want to start with, the first thing to do is, what do you want to accomplish? That's number one. So you want to sit down and, I suggest a space with no noise, no distraction, so you can have nothing but clarity. And write down things that you've always wanted to achieve, no matter how small it is. I don't care. You want to lose 5 pounds, you want to run 100K, you want to get this new promotion at your job, whatever the goal is, you want to start your own business, whatever the goal is, sit down and write all those goals out. And start with the one that's most important to you first. And once you know the goal, then what we got to do?
Achieve it.
Yes. And we got to write down the steps to achieve it. So what do we need to do to achieve the goal? Do we need to set time aside to focus on the goal? Do we need to go back to school? Do we need to partner with a different business or different friends or entrepreneurs on how to achieve the goal? Whatever you need to do, you need to focus on what it's going to take for you to do that goal, and then start allotting time to it.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. That is definitely a good idea, like you say. And one of my favorite things, I'm a big notebook lover, right? I love notebooks. I definitely recommend writing these goals down. Sometimes it is good to see these goals on a daily basis, so you can remind yourself, this is something that I'm working towards. This is something that I'm getting ready to accomplish and achieve, right?
And that's just like when you put pictures on your desk at work,
Yep.
that motivates you to keep. I got to get this check. They're getting on my nerves, but I need this paycheck for my kids. So that's just like that.
Yeah, it's definitely like you say. You find things, and then find things that motivate you for these goals, right? Like you say, your kids is another thing that will motivate you, right? Like you said, the end of the rainbow, right? Like we say that we are fear of the unknown, but also too, we can also get excited about the unknown, right? Because if I finish this goal, I accomplish this goal, then this is what happens, right? Because we always want it to be a positive at the end of the goal, right? That's most goals are gonna have that, right? So you definitely want to tell yourself, okay, I can do this. These are things that I can achieve. You can do this. Setting goals and making sure you accomplish them. You will be so surprised the type of achievement, fulfillment you can get from something like that.
So one is finding out what is it that you want to achieve.
That's number one.
What do I want to achieve? Second is allotting time to achieve those goals. What is it going to take? Now you need to write down, what is it going to take for me to achieve the goals? The third one is, how am I going to complete number two?
Right.
Because now I know what it takes to achieve the goal. How am I going to allot time to it? What time am I going to dedicate to it? And like Rashida said, writing stuff down, putting it in your face every day, even if you got it on a big calendar or a big board or something that you walk by every day. That keeps you motivated. Definitely. And then for, like she said, keep motivated. Stay motivated. Keep people around you that want the best for you, that want to see you accomplish the goals. Tell your sister, your mom, your best friends, your co-workers, this is what I want to achieve. And when y'all see me, I just want you to yell it out to me.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's great. Because now I can never forget it, because everybody I'm surrounded by is going to be reminding me of my goal, and that's going to keep me pushing.
Definitely. I agree. Like you say, definitely you want to figure out what that goal is. Like you say, take some time, really get to study yourself, study something that you feel that will make you accomplish. Everybody's success, accomplishments are not going to be the same.
Right.
Figure out what it is that you want to achieve. And like you say, let's get to start planning. Let's planning on getting to these goals, planning on what these goals look like. Definitely don't want any distractions coming in your way. Try to figure out minimal distractions so you can definitely stay the path, so you can achieve these goals.
Right. And know yourself.
Definitely.
Know what your weaknesses are. Like, for example, I say I procrastinate. So I know this. So I can be aware of when I'm doing it. When I'm like, you know what, I don't have time for this today. I got too much. I really don't. I do have the time. It's just that I'm choosing to focus on something else, because either I'm in my head too much. Maybe I'm feeling like I can't accomplish it. Like, I've taken the assurance test before, and it's made me, and I was like a point off. Guys, this test 2.5 hours. I could cry. I was like, no. And then I didn't take it again. I haven't taken it again because I'm scared. Because what if I take it again and I'm not that 1 point off, but I'm like 5 points less? It's so much I get in my head about.
Pressure.
So you just have to know when to just turn all of that noise off in your head and focus on what you want, because it's gonna be so sweet when you get it.
Yes, definitely.
Anything you work hard for is so sweet when you get it. Nothing easy gives good reward. But anything you work hard for, the reward is going to be so sweet.
I definitely agree with that.
Yes.
Definitely.
So any other tips you got for the people?
I think that's about it. As far as, I just want you guys to, like you say, find a goal, set goals, and definitely work on accomplishing them, right? I think that'll help. I always believe things like that help as a part of self-care, self-love, as a part of empowerment is what we stand for.
And it gives you, it makes you feel accomplished.
It does.
It makes you feel like you can stand on your own. You have your own ideas, no matter what anybody else is doing. And I always say this, I've always said this, you don't have to be the CEO to be successful. If you don't want to be the CEO, you don't have to be. Because sometimes the CEO ain't successful. They look like it, but they got mental problems. They got all type of stuff going on behind the scenes. You do what makes you happy and what's going to be able for you to provide for your family, and that's going to make you feel fulfilled. And then that's when you know you have the nerve. And that's what it's about, nurturing yourself, empowering yourself, restoring anything that you feel was broken in yourself. That means getting that education, getting that information to achieve your goals, and taking the time to partner with people or go back to school or do what you need to accomplish the goal. And then that vision that last V, that
Mhm.
vision will come to life for you.
Definitely.
And that's what we want for you guys.
Definitely.
Yes,
All right,
so-
guys. It's been